You're now listening to All Hogs Sports, covering all Arkansas Razorback sports, such as football, basketball, baseball, and much more. Now, here's your host for today's show, Sam Stimson.
With the help of a dominant performance by Will McIntyre, the Hogs stay on the winning side of the bracket. They're one of the final 4 teams remaining in Omaha for the College World Series. Arkansas defeated Auburn 11-1 in an elimination game yesterday. Arkansas really got things started off early. Braden Webb with another leadoff hit. And all 3 games in the first at-bat of the game, Webb has got a hit. I think he's scored in all 3 as well. He scored here with Stovall singling to center. Arkansas up 1-0. And then just really took the lead from there. I'm going to start things off, though, with the pitching, because I really don't think we can put into words what Will McIntyre provided for Arkansas today. The right-handy on the mound, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 99 pitches thrown. What an incredible performance from the numbers. But looking outside of the numbers into the bigger context of what McIntyre did for this Arkansas team going forward. Arkansas has not pitched Hagen Smith or Brady Tigert yet, 2 of its top freshmen and team arms so far within the College World Series. Arkansas has both of those options going forward in the next 2 games that must win to keep playing in the College World Series. McIntyre started this game, and you really only needed 5 or 6 out of him because you had basically everyone in the bullpen. Nobody's arm was too burnt out to get out there. And, then you get to the 7th, and after McIntyre is done, the game's 9-1, so you can put in Vermillion to close the game, and then Ledbetter. Both of those guys, Arkansas doesn't pitch that often. They're kind of the later arms, but it's so good to see those guys get some fresh innings. Main thing McIntyre did, though, really just let Arkansas get to that next game with everyone. Because there's basically going to be 2 options for Arkansas going forward. I'll talk about later. You can probably get another start out of Connor Noland, and then probably get a start out of Hagen Smith, and then you've got the whole bullpen. McIntyre did that for Arkansas in a huge game where Arkansas had to win an elimination game and just pitched an absolute gem performance on the mound. For Arkansas's hitting, Braden Webb, 2 out of 5 from the plate with a walk and 2 runs scored. And the real story of the game is batting second, Peyton Stovall. Before the game, Dave Van Horn switched up the lineup. He moved Slavens up to the 2-hole, moved Slavens out of the 2-hole and Stovall up to the 2-hole. And then Peyton Stovall hit 5 out of 6. He's batting over 500 in the College World Series. He's got 3 RBIs in this game, 2 runs, and since they built the new park, which used to be TD Ameritrade and is now Charles Schwab Field, no hitter has had 5 hits in a single game performance. Peyton Stovall is the first and only player to do that, and he's only a freshman. 2 runs, 3 RBIs. Additionally, Caden Wallace struggled a little bit at the plate, 1 for 6. Get him going. He was also 0 for in the previous game. Arkansas get him going the next 2 games, which, he will have a rebound game back. Michael Turner keeping things hot, 3 out of 4 with a walk. Chris Lanzilli, he just cranks home runs, had another home run out to left, scoring Michael Turner. He had 3 RBIs, additionally had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. 2 runs scored for him. Robert Moore, 2 out of 5 from the plate with a run. Jalen Battles, he was 0 for 2 at the plate, but had some really quality at-bats and got 3 walks, and this one really saw the ball well. Brady Slavens and Zach Gregory were both 0 for 5 from the plate and did not get on base at all. No walks recorded for them. Some other things to count for Arkansas. Jalen Battles in this infield continues to perform at an elite level. I really think that next year we will miss watching Jalen Battles. Just the way that he's able to easily turn double plays. He had that one incredible play at shortstop where he ran over to the base, jumped up through the air, and threw it for a double play. Battles are one of the best shortstops in recent Arkansas memory, the JUCO transfer. And then looking forward, Peyton Stallwell, your first baseman, is a freshman. Caden Wallace, your third baseman's a second-year draft-eligible sophomore. Robert Moore draft-eligible as well at second base. Arkansas is going to lose some of these middle infield guys in the future, but what they're able to provide right now is a really elite defense that really helps the pitcher out. The pitcher's confident throwing strikes, knowing that his infield has got him, and the outfield has also done a good job backing up and being in the right position at its times. Main thing for Arkansas in this one, though, incredible performance all around when your back's against the wall in an elimination game, and really puts us in a good position with the next two games against Ole Miss. Now, next up for the Hogs is a double elimination round game Wednesday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Now, last night's game was flexed to ESPN2, but at the moment, as it stands, Arkansas, Ole Miss playing on ESPN at 6 p.m. In the previous game, obviously, Ole Miss dominated that one 13-5, but it's a brand new ball game. If you remember, when Arkansas faced Ole Miss in the series, they lost that first game and then won the next game 2 and game 3 to take the series from the Ole Miss Rebels. In this game, I think the keys for Ole Miss here is that really dominant lineup that they have. A lot of hot hitters on that team. Justin Bench batting .314. He's been incredible for the Rebels. 4 out of 6 against Arkansas the other day. 4 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Like I said, the batting average at .314. He's been able to really provide for this lineup. Gonzalez, 2 for 6 against Arkansas. He's in the 2-hole. Tim Elko cranked a 3-run home run for the Rebels against Arkansas. He's 1 for 5 in that game, batting .300 this season. After that is Graham, the left fielder, one of the quality hitters, batting .343. Alderman at DH. The second baseman at Chattagoonier. Catcher, Hayden Dunhurst. Wood, the third baseman, also kind of subs in some time with McCants coming in for him, and then Bench sub to third base. And then in the 9-hole is Harris for Ole Miss. Getting the start on the bump for Ole Miss is the left-handed pitcher, John Gaddis. Senior out of Ole Miss, obviously has a 4.4 ERA with a win-loss record of 3-1. 43 strikeouts on the season. He started in 6 games so far with 43 innings pitched. 43 strikeouts to 16 walks, a really good ratio there. Opponent's batting average, a .272 against him. Now, this is a familiar face as he has faced the Arkansas team before whenever they ended up playing the Rebels in the regular season. Last time he pitched against Arkansas, he went 2 1/3. He had 2 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. So he really hasn't seen this Arkansas lineup that much, but he was solid. At Texas A&M Corpus Christi, he was landed on the All-Southland team. He's got a lot of experience under his belt, being a 5th-year senior. Additionally, for Ole Miss, they really kind of have a lot of arms, especially within the bullpen, just because they were able to avoid that last game, and then Arkansas played 3 games, Ole Miss has played 2, and then they were really dominant in both of their games and didn't have to expand and look at that many options for arms. For Ole Miss, Brandon Johnson with a 4.43 ERA and a team-high 23 appearances is definitely a guy to watch. 68 strikeouts on the season. He's got an incredible fastball, really strikes out batters, holding them to an opponent batting average of .203. Additionally, Mason Nichols, 3.03 ERA, and then a couple other guys. Josh Mateals, he's got 29 innings under his belt, holding opposing batters to an average of 292. Ole Miss, very confident in their arms. They have a lot of guys that just are fresh and really haven't thrown since the Super Regionals, as they're 7-0, undefeated in the postseason. Main thing for Ole Miss, though, like I said, that power lineup, especially with Bench, Gonzalez, Elko, Graham, right there at the top four. If Arkansas can pitch around that and not have too much damage done there, and then just avoid striking out, and then you can't walk 10 guys in this lineup again and expect to win this game. Now for your Arkansas Razorbacks, Connor Noland has said he is able to pitch to Dave Van Horn. That's what was said in the press conference. Dave Van Horn also saying that Hagen Smith is an available option for Wednesday and Thursday. A couple other candidates are also looking at a start. But I think your two options here that you'll end up seeing is you'll have Hagen Smith in the bullpen and then Connor Noland in the bullpen. The main thing that Arkansas has to do is just really nail that command down. They cannot give up 10 walks because with this Ole Miss lineup, you walk one guy who's maybe a 200 around their batter, and then up comes Tim Elko, and he's going to smash a home run. They have a lot of guys that are going to grind out at bats, get on base easily, and Arkansas simply has to have better command than they did in the previous game against Ole Miss. I think the other thing for these starters is you got to be confident and trust that infield as they have done. The other thing is with Ole Miss is they have a lot of heavy hitters, so that outfield defense is also important. But for Arkansas's pitching, you obviously have Connor Noland on a 3 days rest type situation, and then you have a couple other arms that you could go to, most notably being Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith has not thrown at all, hasn't started since the Stillwater Regional for what it's worth, but the lefty arm does bring a interesting option against the Ole Miss team that statistically does not hit left-handers as good as they do righties, but they just about hit everybody in this postseason as we saw them do a lot of damage against Zach Morris. Connor Noland hasn't really had any 3 or less days type rest for a start, but when he did have low rest and came in to relieve Arkansas against Oklahoma State, he kind of struggled and got pulled very early. Nolan, obviously, 3.75 ERA, 108 innings pitched on the season, 106 strikeouts. He's really fantastic. That fastball for him is really effective. Great guy at throwing strikes. Hagen Smith with a record of 6-2 with a 4.85 ERA, 14 games started, 72.1 innings pitched this season. I think those are your two options to start for Arkansas. And then out of the bullpen for options, you obviously have Evan Taylor, one of Arkansas's top left-handed relievers, does really good at not allowing that many hits. He can kind of struggle with his command, though, and walk batters here and there, but usually he's pretty good. Cole Ramage, that's been his thing, 61 strikeouts, 19 walks this season, but when you do see him struggle, it's when he's walking batters. Brady Tigert, Arkansas's traditional closer, has 8 saves on the season with a 3.82 ERA, 3-4 record, and he hasn't thrown it all. And this, the RPM on his curveball is out of this world. If he can get things clicking and get his command right, Arkansas will also be in good fashion. But now for the Arkansas lineup, Braden Webb batting off is the perfect move for Arkansas. He's been fantastic in this postseason. I think he has 6 hits, and then 3 of those hits have been within the first at-bat of a game. Then the second hole hitter, I do expect it to stay with Peyton Stovall. Stovall had that 5-hit huge game against Auburn last night. Next up is Caden Wallace. Wallace started off really hot against Stanford, hasn't got a hit since, but he can really turn it on at any given time. Michael Turner batting a season 325 in the 4 spot. Chris Lanzulli batting that cleanup. I love that position for him, especially with how he's been able to pimp 2 home runs out of left field so far at Charles Schwab Field. Next up is Rob Moore, and then Jalen Battles. And that 8 hole, I do expect Slavens to stay there, and then Gregory in the 9 hole. Both of those guys are really struggling against Auburn, going 0 for 5 with no base appearances at all, no walks. So I do expect those guys to stay in the 8 and 9 hole. Main thing for Arkansas here, though, have your defense support your offense, runners in scoring position, and really take advantage of those early base runners and come out early, install confidence like they were able to do against Stanford and Auburn. Now, in this game on Wednesday night, I have Arkansas winning this one. I think the Hogs win 6-3 in this Wednesday night game. I think the main thing for Arkansas is, facing Ole Miss's third starter is going to be way better and easier than facing anyone like Hunter Elliott. Other thing for the Razorbacks, the defense I think is going to come up crucial, and the run support that the offense is going to be able to provide for Arkansas to get this win. But I'm very confident that they're going to be able to put things together and get a win here. Thursday is going to be an incredible game. I also like Arkansas a lot if they're able to get Connor Nolan to start. Obviously, a ton of guys out of the bullpen available as well. So, sign it off for now. Woo Pig Suey.
That's all for today's episode of All Hog Sports with Sam Stimson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. On Twitter and Instagram at All Hog Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hog Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!